Summit number 1. It's actually called Summit.
It's called Summit.
Imagine that.
Here we go. Here's the others we gotta do.
Woo! Big day. We came from all the way over there. Over there.
Summit to Montezuma Peak Loop. This is about a 8 to 9 mile hike with about 3,100 feet of elevation gain. Now I went along with my friend Bryce, who texted me and asked if I wanted to tag along with his dog, Teddy Rose. And of course I did, especially when it's a chance to bag not one, but 2 13ers. Summit Peak is the highest peak in the South San Juan wilderness in Archuleta County. It beautifully stands at 13,307 feet. And it also happens to be 29th among Colorado's most prominent peaks, measuring at 2,737 feet. Prominence measures the height of a mountain relative to the lowest contour line encircling it, but containing no higher summit within it. This alone would cause a lot of folks to want to hike it, but it's a bit of a trip to get here because of the remoteness of the 159,000 acre South San Juan wilderness. The trailhead is about 61 miles from downtown Pagosa Springs, but takes nearly 2 hours to get there due to dirt roads. To get there, you head up and over Wolf Creek Pass and then head southeast on Park Creek Road. After about 22 miles on this dirt road, you'll take a right onto Forest Road 243 and head to the end of the road where Treasure Creek Trailhead is. The official trail heads south, but we cut off a mile or so by hiking up the steep face along Treasure Creek. In about half a mile, we climbed nearly 500 feet before crossing over the creek. From here, it was more bushwhacking for us until we joined onto the trail about 1.4 miles in at 12,000 feet. At 12,500 feet, we joined onto the Continental Divide Trail, and from here continued on to the south-facing side of Summit Peak. This is where it becomes a choose-your-own adventure. There's not really a trail, but it's really just a steep climb up a grassy mountain. In 0.6 miles, we climbed about 700 feet at grades sometimes higher than 30%. It was a workout, and Teddy was waiting for us most of the time. At the summit of the summit, the views alone made this hike worth it. But we weren't done yet. We looked across the north towards our next 13er, Montezuma Peak, standing at 13,150 feet. We hiked down along the ridgeline to the southeast, taking in the incredible rock faces of Summit Peak. It was back down to the CDT where we followed it to the north of the base of Montezuma Peak, about 2.2 miles away. It was mostly flat along this distance where we traveled over quite a bit of snowpack on the north side of Summit Peak. Along the way, we passed the Unicorn, another 13er that you can climb, but it's just barely a 13er at a height of, well, 13,000 feet. After passing by the Unicorn, we departed the CDT and approached the west-facing side of Montezuma Peak. From here, it was a 550-foot climb over 0.7 miles. Not as steep as the slope at Summit, but it did contain some scree and loose rock. It wasn't too bad though, and at the peak we filmed our last views, and then I put the camera away to start on the 2-mile, 2,200-foot descent back down to the trailhead down the eastern slope of Montezuma. Overall, this trail was a challenge, but well worth it. Make sure you have Gaia GPS to help guide your way since the trail is nearly non-existent for a big portion of this hike. Took us about 8 hours to hike with about 6 hours of moving time, but again, this also includes going to pick up the camera back and forth many times. I can't stress this enough. Make sure you're in shape for this one and you're comfortable with route finding, since there really isn't much of a trail. You need some experience for this one. If you have any questions, hit me up or comment below. We'd love to help you out. My name is Matt Martin, and thanks for watching. For more quality content on the fun trails and adventurous things to do here in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, be sure to subscribe. We do appreciate it. Cheers.